Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys Magic. This is Hunter, Steven, and Shane. Say what up, guys.
Hello.
What's up, nerds?
We are back doing a spoiler video on the weekend. Normally, we don't do this because they don't do a lot of spoilers, but this spoiler season for Duskmourn in specific is very different. Um, we have new cards from today, as well as an entire commander deck was spoiled today. So we got 9 new cards from that. We don't normally do that. And then in 3 days, there's going to be another commander deck. And then 2 days after that, there's 2 more commander decks. Why are they doing it this way? I don't know.
Content.
I mean, is it? I don't know.
Sure.
They're just spreading it thin. So here we are, Saturday, September 7th, doing another Duskmourn spoiler bid. If you guys wanted to check out all the uncommons and commons that we do not talk about today, check the link in the description for Instagram at Guys at Magic. So let's go ahead and get started with this first one. It is the protagonist of the story. It's Nashi, Searcher in the Dark. It's a blue and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature, rat ninja wizard. It's got menace, and it says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, mill that many cards. You may put any number of legendary and or enchantment cards from among them into your hand. If you didn't put any cards into your hand this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Nashi.
Steven's
That's
kind of
cool.
card.
Is it?
It's self-mill.
It's Demure and it's Mill, dude. You love this.
I don't like self-mill that much.
Yeah, but it says the word enchantment on it too.
That's true. I mean, legendary and or enchantment.
Yeah, you could put any number of them, so just put them back in your hand. This is basically good card advantage, right?
I think so.
Granted, you do have to connect for it to do anything.
That's true. It's a ninja. You can ninjutsu him.
It doesn't have ninjutsu.
No, but it's a ninja, so you could have ninjutsu in your deck.
You have ninjutsu
You
in
don't
any
really
kind of deck.
need ninja.
Yeah, but I feel like they just got to go together. It's like on flavor. How about
This
that?
I'll give you one. Here, it's got menace. It can get
That's the
in.
word.
Yeah. It can get in a little easier. I don't know. Will this see play? Probably. It's a good way to fill your graveyard. It just makes itself bigger if you don't want to bring anything back in your hand. This will probably see play in standard because of that reason. It's going to be super annoying. People are going to fill their graveyard. This is just going to get bigger, and then they're just going to bring back something really stupid from the grave, like an Atraxa or Galta. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I could see it. It'll also fill up the graveyard for Delirium.
Super easy, actually.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I think this is really cool too, especially like with Ixalan kind of bringing like Descend into the mix. I think this would I think you could build a lot of decks with that kind of like self-mill, Descend, Delirium,
How many more Ds we
another
got?
D word.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dread, Manifest Dread. Yeah. Okay.
Red Ja too. It's like that's a lot of Ds.
All right, let's move on. The next one is actually the scroll that Nashi was looking for. It's the Tale of Tamiyo. 2 and a blue for a legendary enchantment. Saga. It's the only saga in the set. Um, the first 3 lore counters all say the same thing, which is mill 2 cards. If 2 cards that share a card type were milled this way, draw a card and repeat this process. And then the 4th and final lore counter says exile any number of target instant, sorcery, and or Tamiyo Planeswalker cards from your graveyard. Copy them. You may cast any number of the copies.
Damn.
That's a big final lore counter.
That's a big boy right there.
Doesn't say do it for free.
You're right. Doesn't say do it for free. So you are going to have to spend mana to cast them again, but it still is pretty cool.
It is. Top part you get to repeat too if you hit it.
Yeah. Just keep repeating it.
Ron cards wins games, right? The top part alone is good.
We just talked about how Nashi was great at putting stuff in the grave. This card is great at putting stuff in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Self-mill.
Who would have thought, dude, with the deck?
As we know, Tamiyo is Nashi's mother. So
I mean, not everyone knows that. Now they do.
maybe Nashi got the self-mill part from his mom.
Thanks, Mom.
And the rat part from his dad.
Anyways, yep, those were the 2 cards that were from the main set that were spoiled today that are rares. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Jump Scare. That's right. The Precon was shown off today. Let's talk about the backup. It is Kianne, Corrupted Memory. 2 green blue for a 2/2 legendary creature illusion. It says as long as its power is even, you may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. As long as its power is odd, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. And whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Kianne.
Really
I
cool
like this.
design. Really cool design.
It is. And it will get so big so quickly.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think so.
You think so?
No, dude. I mean, when you think about it, like when you're drawing cards, you don't really do a lot of drawing in Simic, and it's just not something that you really see that often. So there's no way this card gets big.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, my mistake. Oh yeah, but any kind of wheel effects will just put 7 counters on this. Seems good.
Seems like I have to do a little bit of thinking, right? Because each turn, a different thing gets turned on. So, like,
Yep.
if you're not drawing additional cards, just the one draw every turn is like, okay, next turn I'm doing this for flash. Next turn I'm doing this for flash. But it
You're
still
right.
seems really
I mean,
cool.
there's definitely not a way to like set it up to where you can just draw a card.
I'm talking about at the
Fix that.
floor.
I think it's a really cool design, like you said, Shane. It really does make you kind of play around its power whenever you need to. And flashing in things is really good.
It's almost like it's a jump scare.
Whoa.
True. Wow.
I feel like I might
look
use
at
this
that.
as the base commander if I get this deck.
Find the title. It does seem good. I like it. Once again, though, we will talk about this in our commander grades. And of course, we will be building around it, specifically this one on our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and talk about some of the new rares specifically into this precon as well. Like Giggling Skitterspike. It's 4 generic mana for a 1/1 artifact creature toy. It's got indestructible. Because whenever it attacks, blocks, or becomes the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. It also has for 5 generic Monstrosity 5, which if you can't remember, if this creature isn't monstrous, you put 5 +1/+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous.
This card's sick, dude.
This card's really cool.
9 mana.
It's indestructible.
9 mana.
Yeah, if you want to do it the card route, like with the 5, sure. There are other ways to make cards big in Magic.
Does this remind you of Toy Story?
Of course.
It is a toy.
The thing that Sid made.
Yeah. Giggling.
Whoa, dude.
Skitter-
Spoiler.
Well, you haven't seen Toy Story? That was like 35 years ago.
Oh man. Spoiler. No, this card's awesome. Steven, you don't like this card?
It's 9 mana.
No,
don't know
it's
why you keep
4
saying that.
mana. It's 5 extra whenever you want to make it monstrous. You go ahead and put as much stuff onto this if you want. Just make its power bigger.
Dude, think
I
about
I
this
mean-
in a deck that like in an Ivy deck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, it's to each opponent too, so very good.
Very good.
Yeah, I poop on it now. I'll probably get murdered by it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. You're gonna be like, okay, so it's up on block duty. I can't swing at you because you'll just block, and I will take all of that damage anyways. Find a way to give this vigilance, and you're solid. Let's move on to Shriekwood Devourer. It's 5 and 2 green for a 7/5 creature tree folk. It's got trample and says whenever you attack with one or more creatures, untap up to X lands, where X is the greatest power among those creatures.
Hmm.
An interesting one, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different. I don't know if I like it though. It's 7 mana to untap your stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
I like that you don't have to attack with this.
You would probably want to
You
attack
probably
with
would.
this.
Right.
You're swinging with this, dude.
It's a 5
It's-
though. I'm saying it could die. It could die.
Yeah, but it's probably the greatest power at the time, unless you had something bigger.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Tap 7 lands.
Very good.
Very good.
I mean, there are cheaper ways to untap all your lands, but
Exactly that. But hey,
Yeah, but this is really enabling you to do some fun shenanigans. I mean, obviously, you can play this if you have like I don't know What's out? What's in green? That fancy one that's beautiful, Concordant Crossroads, because everything haste.
I mean,
Swing with
that's a
this,
good
you
one.
get to untap all your lands, and then if you have any combat tricks, you can always do that. I mean, it's definitely got some spice behind it.
Yeah, you could do some cool things, but I don't know.
Wait,
Let's go ahead and move on. Next one is Curator Beastie. 4 and 2 green for a 6/6 creature beast. Reach. Colorless creatures you control enter with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on them. And whenever it enters or attacks, manifest dread.
that's cool.
That is cool.
So they're gonna come in
Yep.
and your 2/2s are now 4/4s.
Yep.
That's cool.
And they get to keep those counters when they flip back over.
Yeah, because they transform. That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of mana.
it is a lot
6
of
mana
mana.
is a
But,
lot. It is a 6/6 reacher though. So
yeah.
statted okay for the mana cost.
Well, it's gonna get
I see.
at least 2 bodies, right? So it's gonna get to 6/6 and a 4/4.
Yes.
That's,
You will
that's not
have
bad
2
for
bodies
6.
with that. Good point, Shane.
And you get the
10
pick
10
because Manifest Dread
and
is
you get to
fucking
pick.
good.
Manifest Dread is good. You're right.
Better than Manifest.
Better than normal Manifest. Steve, you don't like this card though?
It's meh.
We got a
Meh.
meh.
We got a meh. All right, Steven, let's move on to the next one. See if you like this one. It's called Disorienting Choice. 3 and a green, sorcery. For each opponent, choose up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. For each permanent chosen this way, its controller may exile it. Then, if 1 or more of the chosen permanents are still on the battlefield, you search your library for up to that many land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
Weird.
You might need to read this again because it is quite disorienting.
Weird. Basically, they
I like
either
it.
exile their stuff or you go and get a bunch of land.
Yeah, it's pretty
Interesting.
cool. You give them the option there. Hey, you want your thing to be exiled? You want me to ramp? You're probably ramping.
You're playing this on curve, maybe, yeah. You just
It's
played
4
something
mana to get
cool.
3 lands. Is that good?
I mean, I think that's good.
I think it's good too.
I think any kind of card that helps you search for land cards and not specifically basics is super strong.
Hmm.
So for that, I think this is a really good card. I think this takes the spot of like a Sky Shroud claim 1,000%.
Yeah, probably. I do completely agree with you. Every time that just says land, not basic land, go and get your best lands.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in like a multicolored deck.
Yeah.
Get all the duels.
Get all the
Yeah, get
tries.
your Gaia's Cradle.
Try. Yeah, go ahead, get your
Yeah.
guys cradle. Get your what's the new one everyone plays now that phases things out?
Oh yeah.
So that's a pretty good one. Go and get that one. But yeah, I like this card. I think it's gonna see play.
I think it will be too.
Let's move on because we are simic to some blue ones. How about Zimone's Hypothesis? It's 3 and 2 blue. For an instant, you may put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Then choose odd or even. Return each creature with power of the chosen quality to its owner's hand.
Weird word quality.
Yep. um, that's cool. It's a bounce spell specifically for set power.
I like that. I like that this is manipulating one of your creatures to hopefully bump it
Save
in
it.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Either
really
save it
cool.
or you're manipulating someone else's creature to bounce it as well as everything else.
I like that this so far the deck is 2 times now we've seen the odd and even mechanic.
Hmm.
I think that's really interesting. It's a cool lane to go down.
It is. Steven, what do you think of this?
I think it's a lot for me to think about.
Oh, now it's a lot.
Odd and even. Too much. Brain don't
Brain
work no
can't
good.
compute. Yeah, I mean, this being in the deck, it makes sense. It's very flavorful. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. 5 mana is a lot.
Yeah.
And you could be
You're in
bouncing.
Simic. It's nothing.
You could be bouncing your own stuff as well. So
Could be. You
keep in
probably
mind
will be.
you're,
Yeah.
you're playing odd or even.
Yeah.
Keep in mind of your stuff
Yeah,
too.
but it's instant speed, so you can always do this on somebody's end step, and then you can have some fun ETB shenanigans. I mean, you got to think about it like that, you know?
Sure. Yeah, good point. All right, let's move on to Glitch Interpreter. It's 2 and a blue for a 2/3. creature human wizard. It says when it enters, if you control no face down permanents, return it to its owner's hand and manifest dread. When one or more colorless creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Interesting.
Simple to the point. I like how it's colorless creatures, which means it doesn't have to be flipped down creatures. So this is very flexible in that way.
Oh, the second half. Okay, gotcha. Like,
Mhm.
no, that first half definitely says we have no face down permanents.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, this you need to have this on the field.
Yeah. And then, so you're casting this probably twice. Unless the deck's already going to be manifesting dread, which probably is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you have something flipped face down, then that first clause never will happen again. It's not like if your face down card goes away, then this goes away. This just stays on the field. It's only
Yeah.
an ETB.
Just checks
So,
it.
I mean, that whenever one or more colors creatures, like if you deal combat damage with Sad Robot, you can draw a card.
When he dies, you draw another card. Cool card, cool.
Cool card, cool.
I wish it had flash.
Why?
Too glitchy.
I don't know. I hear glitch interpreter. I'm like, oh, glitched into the battlefield. I don't know.
Glitched into the battlefield. That's right. I like it. I think it's cool. I think you'll see play. Like I said, that second part, I think it's good enough.
Well, Steven, if you're playing with that commander we just saw a minute ago, and it's odd, this does have flash.
This is true.
This is true.
True
Moving
card,
on.
true.
Moving on. That's called They Came from the Pipes. It's 4 and a blue for an enchantment. As one enters, manifest dread twice. And whenever a face down creature you control enters, draw a card.
They came from behind.
They came from the pipes. Yeah, that's an interesting one, right?
Still expensive, but I like the ability, yeah.
Yeah, it's it really makes you play that lane if you are running that just specific deck of just face down cards of Manifest Dread and Disguise and all those kind of mechanics.
Yeah.
Then this card is probably a must have in those decks.
Yeah, I mean, with this deck basically caring so much about Manifest Dread, I mean, it's fantastic for the deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good include.
Yeah, I just love the fun mechanic here just because like there are so many cards in blue that care about when your creatures attack and deal combat damage, you're drawing cards. I like to see something a little bit different where when they enter now you get to draw a card. So that and it does it for you. So I mean 5 mana is still a little steep, but kind of fun.
And the final card we were talking about today is one of those rooms. It's from this precon. It's the Experimental Lab and Staff Room. Experimental Lab is 3 and a green enchantment room. It says when you unlock this door, manifest dread. Then put 2+1/+1 counters and a trample counter on that creature. Staff room is 2 and a green. It says whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, turn that creature face up or put a +1/+1 counter on it.
It's pretty fun.
I think that right side is better, right?
I mean, yeah, and it's cheaper.
Yeah. Play that one first
probably-
and then unlock.
Oh yeah, probably
If you
always do it. I don't know why why isn't it flipped? Like I feel like it should have been flipped.
They can do whatever they want, man.
I know it doesn't matter,
It doesn't matter.
but I feel like it should be flipped.
No, because that's just in your brain reading left to right.
Yeah, but I mean it's less, and then the other one says when you unlock it, something that's like, I don't know.
Cool card, cool.
Cool card is cool. Yeah, Manifest Dread. That is going to be a thing. They are pushing it obviously in this pre-con, and I'm very excited. We haven't actually decided who gets what deck yet. Very excited to see who gets to build this one and the other ones. But like I said, we will see the other one in 3 days, and then 2 days we'll see the other two, and stay tuned.
Do you think we're gonna see Manifest Dread like quickly in another set? 'Cause I feel like it's very specific to like spooky.
Yep, we will not. I
Damn.
think this is probably going to be one of those set mechanics.
We're gonna go back to boring ass Manifest.
We're back in well, I mean, they try to do a different thing with Disguise.
That's
right?
true. I guess we'll go back to boring ass Disguise.
No, that could just be in that set too. So,
All I'm saying is Manifest Dread is sick, and I want it a lot.
yes, it's good.
I like it a lot.
And that's going to do it for us today. If you guys liked that video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because you want to stay up to date with all of these spoiler videos, as well as the other videos, like the pre-con upgrades are going to be coming as soon as we get all the decks. But yeah, before we wrap things up, let's talk around the table. What was your favorite card today, Steven?
Disorienting Choice.
You like that card a lot, huh?
Yeah, well, I wasn't really a fan of any of the other ones, and this is the best one. So
That's fair. Shane, do you have a favorite?
Dude, I'm either tied between the backup commander or Giggling Skitterspike.
Pick one.
Giggling
pick one,
Skitterspike.
buddy.
You
The
went with
scary toy.
And I'm going with the backup commander. I like doing damage and things that get bigger. Makes that possible. So yeah, Kianne is my favorite there. Comment down below. What was your guys' favorite that we talked about today? Always interested to hear your guys' opinions. In the description, you will find links to all of our social media accounts: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Guys at Magic for each one, especially that Instagram one. Because if you wanted to check out all the ones that we don't talk about on these videos, they're over on our Instagram. On the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It means the world to us. If you guys want to check out what they are seeing, which is exclusive things over on Patreon, check the description as well for that Patreon link and consider subscribing. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
I love you.
Bye-bye.